In the last month and a half, I've been able to grow my YouTube channel from 0 to over 1,000 subscribers. A big reason for why I grew so quickly is because I put up over 70 pieces of video content on YouTube. Outside of consistent uploads, there are several aspects of YouTube videos, like the SEO and thumbnail, that contribute to pages growing faster than others. In my case, I generate very high quality thumbnails optimized for click-through rate using an AI tool called Midjourney. If you're unfamiliar with Midjourney, it is an AI tool that's accessed via Discord, and they also have a web user interface that you can access on midjourney.com. I'm going to break down 25 specific thumbnails that have some of the highest click-through rates on my YouTube channel. In other words, these are the thumbnails that people tend to click on the most. Studying the thumbnails in this way gives me a much better idea of how I can improve, generate similar thumbnails to ones that are already converting without having to hire a thumbnail editor. My name's Chris Drago. I've been running a brand called Pathos of Things for about 5 years now. I make videos on YouTube documenting my process so I get better every day at being a creative director and brand owner. If you find topics like this valuable or useful, please smash the like and subscribe buttons. It helps me out so much. Be sure to hit the link in the description to access my database of whiteboards, PDFs, and slides, including the one that you see here in this video. From there, I'll send you this document, which has all of the links to my Figma boards. All right, so the first thumbnail that we're going to break down today is this one, which I used for my luxury streetwear design principles video. In order to generate the prompt, we first have to say, imagine, and then I wrote, famous hip hop artist posing for Supreme X Louis Vuitton collaboration, luxury streetwear outfit, striking blue eyes, medium format camera, chiaroscuro lighting, photorealistic, style raw, aspect ratio 16:9, version 6. Let's break down all of the different aspects of this prompt. The first part of the prompt is the subject. We have a famous hip hop artist posing for Supreme X Louis Vuitton collaboration. This part of the prompt generated this streetwear hoodie with something similar to the Louis Vuitton emblem. Here we can see the striking blue eyes specified in the prompt. Then I described the specific type of camera. I wanted this to feel like a luxury fashion shoot, so I stated medium format camera instead of a DSLR or iPhone. Changing this part of the prompt will drastically change the output. Then I implemented a lighting style, chiaroscuro lighting, which generated these striking shadows with high contrast. I wanted it to look photorealistic, so I stated it that way. And then I added parameters. The style parameter will give the image a specific aesthetic or look. I picked the raw parameter because I wanted this to feel as photorealistic as possible. I find using the raw style parameter is great when generating portrait images. Then I stated the aspect ratio, or AR, as 16:9, which is the aspect ratio for YouTube thumbnails. V6.1 is the current Midjourney version. This gets added automatically to the end of the prompt. However, if you wanted to use an older feature of Midjourney, you can state like V5, and then that will use version 5 of Midjourney. But I just keep this on default. So here is a screenshot from Discord. Here's the prompt that I used. I upscaled the image so it looks very high quality. I added that image to my YouTube thumbnails Figma file. This is the completed thumbnail with text. The next thumbnail was for my Analyzing Ralph Lauren video. The prompt reads as follows. Male model posing for Polo Ralph Lauren photo shoot. Open field with horses in background. Old money art direction and styling. Natural lighting. Photorealistic. Style raw. AR 16:9. So again, I started with the subject, male model, what the subject is doing, so they're posing. I added context. It's a Polo Ralph Lauren photo shoot. I added a setting, an open field with horses in the background. I specified the art direction and styling, as well as the lighting. I typically always add photorealistic at the end of my prompts. And then we have the style and aspect ratio parameters, where again, I use style raw, an aspect ratio of 16:9. Here is the image that I generated, and here is the finished thumbnail. I added the photo to my YouTube thumbnails Figma document and then added the Ralph Lauren logo and text. Moving on to the third thumbnail. This was for my 20K clothing drop strategy. I triggered the imagine command and then wrote, male model posing for Saint Laurent photo shoot, black turtleneck sweater, bright green eyes, medium format camera because I want this to look like a luxury fashion shoot, chiaroscuro lighting, photorealistic, green highlight tones, style raw, aspect ratio 16:9. We added a subject, what the subject is doing, context, Saint Laurent photo shoot, what the subject is wearing, some details like eye color, picked the camera, picked the lighting style, added this green highlight tones aspect because I wanted to use green, and set the style and aspect ratio parameters. This is the image that Midjourney generated. And here is the thumbnail. Next thumbnail was for my Lil Yachty and James Blake Complex Magazine art direction breakdown. This thumbnail used this prompt. Triggered the imagine command. Male rap artist posing for Dazed magazine shoot. Futuristic art direction. Medium format camera. Black highlight tones. Chiaroscuro lighting. Photorealistic. Style raw. Aspect ratio 16:9. Gave the prompt a subject. Added what the subject is doing, gave context, it's a Dazed magazine photo shoot, defined the art direction, camera, colors, lighting, photorealistic quality, style and aspect ratio parameters, which are pretty consistent across all of my thumbnails. Style raw, aspect ratio 16:9. The style is going to make this look more photorealistic, and the aspect ratio is 16:9 because I'm generating these images specifically for YouTube thumbnails. Here is the image that Discord and Midjourney generated, and here is the thumbnail. Next thumbnail, this was for my creative director versus art director video. The prompt reads as follows. Photo of two people standing side by side posing for a fashion photo shoot. One person is a creative director. One person is an art director. No props. White cyclorama. Clean and minimal art direction. Centered composition. Medium format camera. And then my style and aspect ratio parameters. For this, because I was comparing two roles within the fashion industry, I wanted two subjects. I added context about what they were doing, so they're posing for a fashion photo shoot. I gave roles or personalities to each of the subjects. Specified the setting, so white cyclorama with no props. Described the art direction, the photo composition, the camera, and the style and aspect ratio parameters. This is the image that Midjourney generated and upscaled, and this is the thumbnail. Next thumbnail, this was for my lighting techniques every creative director should know video, which currently is my most successful YouTube video to date. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend checking it out. The prompt I used is female model posing for Saint Laurent photo shoot, film noir art direction, red lipstick, medium format camera, chiaroscuro lighting, photorealistic, style raw, aspect ratio 16:9. So I specified a female model as the subject, the action the female model is taking, in this case she is posing, context, so it's a Saint Laurent photo shoot, defined the film noir art direction, added some color, defined the camera, defined the lighting style, added photorealistic at the end, set my style and aspect ratio parameters. This is one of my favorite images that Midjourney's ever generated for me. Here's the screenshot from Discord, and here's the thumbnail. Next, we have two images that actually use the same prompt, but I just made variations and ended up using both of them as thumbnails. This one is the thumbnail for this current video. For both of these images, I used this prompt. Female K-pop idol posing for Dazed Korea photo shoot. Sexy art direction, red lipstick, medium format camera, chiaroscuro lighting, photorealistic, accent colors, and then the style and aspect ratio parameters. I think both images are awesome. This second one in particular is really good. I used this image for my Lighting for Creative Directors Dazed magazine breakdown, and this image for this video's thumbnail. Next thumbnail was for my Travis Scott magazine shoot analysis video. The prompt reads, male rap artist posing for Dazed magazine shoot, futuristic art direction, medium format camera, black highlight tones, chiaroscuro lighting, photorealistic, style raw, aspect ratio 16:9. So I set the subject, what the subject is doing, context, define the art direction, as well as the camera, color, lighting technique, photorealistic, and then my style and aspect ratio parameters, which generated this image, which I then used for this thumbnail. Next thumbnail was for my high fashion color palettes AI video, where I used Claude to generate color palettes based on my favorite editorial photos. This image used this prompt: female K-pop idol posing for Days Korea photo shoot, sexy art direction, red lipstick, medium format camera, chiaroscuro lighting, photorealistic, yellow highlight tones, style raw, aspect ratio 16:9, v6.1. So I'm now realizing that this is actually the same prompt as over here, but in this case, I created several variations of these photos and just kept telling Midjourney to create variation after variation until it eventually looked like this, which is similar, but pretty different. The next thumbnail was for my Consumer Behaviors in Fashion episode 2, which used this prompt: photo of young woman posing for Saint Laurent photo shoot, minimal and clean art direction, chiaroscuro lighting, red highlight tones. And then I set the style and aspect ratio parameters. As you can tell by now, I use this lighting technique in pretty much all of these thumbnails. The structure remains the same: subject, what the subject is doing, context about the image, I set the art direction, lighting, and color, and then I add my style and aspect ratio parameters. This one I did not add photorealistic at the end, but it still looks pretty good. Next thumbnail. The prompt I used for this image is the same prompt that I used for this image, but this image is a variation of these two images. But I'll read the prompt again. Female model posing for Saint Laurent photo shoot, film noir art direction, red lipstick, medium format camera, chiaroscuro lighting, photorealistic, style and aspect ratio parameters. Next thumbnail. This was for my building the perfect team for fashion shoots video. The prompt reads: male K-pop idol posing for Days Korea photo shoot, cold and edgy art direction, red lipstick, medium format camera, chiaroscuro lighting, photorealistic, black and light blue highlight tones, style raw, aspect ratio 16:9. So this is my first time trying cold and edgy art direction as an aspect of my prompt, but I actually really like it. I think that this lighting style and this cold vibe is pretty sweet. I didn't mean to put red lipstick in this prompt. That was an aspect of this prompt that I kept when I was rapid fire trying to generate a bunch of these images to test. But I actually think that the result is fire. I liked that the one image generated these two panels. One is red and one is blue. As you can see here from the Discord Midjourney output, this is just one image with a 16:9 aspect ratio. So technically it only generated one image, but there are two photos within this one image that it generated. Okay, next thumbnail. This was for my AI assistant for creative directors video, where I wanted the subject to feel like something from the future and maybe not so much like a human to give it the vibe of being about AI. I used this prompt: humanoid robot fashion model posing for futuristic Saint Laurent photo shoot, film noir art direction, futuristic black helmet, medium format camera, chiaroscuro lighting, photorealistic, style raw, AR 16:9. Here's the image that Midjourney generated, and here's the thumbnail. In this thumbnail, I added an RSS feed logo, the make.com logo, and ChatGPT logos because those are three tools that I used in this video. Next thumbnail was for my mood board workflow video that used this prompt: female model posing for Saint Laurent photo shoot, film noir art direction, red lipstick, medium format camera, chiaroscuro lighting, photorealistic, style raw. I think the reason why I started using this prompt often is because this video over here and this video both started to pop off on my channel. They both use the same prompt for this thumbnail. I'm likely going to continue to use this prompt and create variations of these images and then reuse them for thumbnails in the future. Next thumbnail was for my Consumer Behaviors in Fashion episode 1, which used this prompt: photo of young woman posing for Saint Laurent photo shoot, minimal and clean art direction, chiaroscuro lighting, red highlight tones. This is another great two-panel single image generation. As you can see here within Discord, one 16:9 image was generated using two photographs of 2 different subjects. Next thumbnail was for my How I'm Building a Luxury Brand from Scratch video, which used this prompt. African American male model posing for the Gap shoot, indoor studio with clean art direction and set design, all black clothing, black sunglasses, medium format camera, symmetrical composition, soft lighting, blue highlight tones, photorealistic, style raw, aspect ratio 16:9. I set the subject, defined what the subject is doing, gave context. In this example, it's a photo shoot for the Gap. I like to mess around with adding different brands and seeing what Midjourney comes up with for what it believes a Gap photo shoot to look like, or what it believes an Amiri photo shoot to look like. So this is how Midjourney perceives an edgy photo shoot from the Gap. I defined the art direction and set design, as well as what the subject is wearing. I defined the camera, the photo composition, the lighting technique used, added some color, and then finished it off with photorealistic and the style and aspect ratio parameters. Midjourney then generated this image. For the next thumbnail, this is from my luxury clothing brand content breakdown, which used this prompt. Male model posing for Prada photo shoot, entire body in frame, indoor studio with clean art direction and set design, black clothing, black sunglasses, medium format camera, soft lighting, light blue highlight tones, photorealistic. The next thumbnail is for my essential skills for creative directors video, which used this prompt. Male model posing for Prada photo shoot while being styled by the creative director. Indoor studio with clean art direction and set design, black clothing, black sunglasses, medium format camera, soft lighting, red highlight tones, photorealistic, style raw, aspect ratio 16:9, which generated this image in Midjourney, which was used for this thumbnail. The next thumbnail was for my Amiri content strategy breakdown video. The prompt reads, male model posing for Amiri photo shoot, entire body in frame, indoor studio with clean art direction and set design, black and blue clothing, black sunglasses, medium format camera, soft lighting, photorealistic, style raw, AR 9:16. So in this case, I made a 9:16 thumbnail for a YouTube short, which I'll show you here. This was the YouTube short thumbnail, which I then ended up cropping and using for this horizontal thumbnail as well. The next thumbnail is for my How I Hire Models for My Clothing Brand video. The image reads, female K-pop idol posing for Dazed photo shoot, water bomb Korea, sexy styling and art direction, hard lighting, photorealistic, style raw, AR 16:9. So all of these aspects of the prompt are specific to the K-pop industry. I wanted to give Midjourney a lot of context about the K-pop industry in as few words as possible by using words like idol and dazed, which is a specific terminology used in the K-pop culture, and dazed is a specific publication. Waterbomb Korea is a specific festival that draws a ton of press every year. So once I provided all that context, then I added the lighting technique, photorealistic, and then my style and aspect ratio parameters, which created a very realistic image that looks like a real K-pop idol. So adding all of that context generated an extremely high quality image, even though it really wasn't that many words. Another K-pop related thumbnail was for my Jenny Columbia Records art direction breakdown. While I'm not a huge fan of K-pop in general, I find that the people involved on the shoots for K-pop editorial are extremely talented. And I learn a ton about art direction and creative direction by studying the content that these K-pop companies create. So for this image, I used this prompt. Female K-pop idol from Blackpink posing for Vivienne Westwood photo shoot. Film noir art direction, red lipstick, medium format camera, chiaroscuro lighting, photorealistic, style raw, aspect ratio 16:9. In this video, Jenny, who's the idol that just signed with Columbia Records, is in the group Blackpink, and she wears all Vivienne Westwood in that photo shoot. I incorporated those keywords in the prompt. Everything else about the prompt is pretty consistent with the rest of my prompts and thumbnails. For the next thumbnail, this is the thumbnail for my prompt engineering for creative directors video, which uses this prompt. Humanoid robot wearing futuristic Saint Laurent clothing posing for Days magazine photo shoot. Cold winter art direction, indoor studio, medium format camera, chiaroscuro lighting, photorealistic. So this one uses a bunch of aspects of just other Midjourney prompts that I had used in the past. And I stuck with the humanoid robot subject because this is one of those AI videos that I made. And for my AI thumbnails, I tend to create some uncanny characters like these robot humanoid characters to give the viewer a sense that what I'm talking about is artificial. It's like a human, but it's not quite a human. The next thumbnail is another great example of that. The prompt for this thumbnail reads, humanoid robot wearing futuristic Saint Laurent clothing, posing for Days magazine. This is a variation of this, and it uses the same prompt. So that's another good example of reusing prompts and creating variations of images to stick with one theme. This was for my second prompt engineering for creative directors video. Next thumbnail was for my Balenciaga e-commerce experience breakdown video, which used this prompt: male model posing for Balenciaga photo shoot, futuristic art direction, medium format camera, bright green highlight tones, chiaroscuro lighting, photorealistic, style raw, aspect ratio 16:9. Another great 2-panel single image, where one 16:9 thumbnail was generated utilizing 2 generated photos. I really like Midjourney's perception of what Balenciaga is, and this raincoat is fire. And the last thumbnail we're going to break down today was for my consumer behaviors in fashion episode 3. Which used this prompt: photorealistic image of woman buying a Gucci coat as a form of retail therapy. All white background, minimalist aesthetic, style raw, aspect ratio 16:9. This video was all about consumer behaviors, hooking people's emotions in, and how brands use psychology to sell more clothes. A key topic that I discuss is retail therapy, so I included retail therapy in the prompt. I wanted the rest of the image to be free of distractions, so I wrote all white background with minimal aesthetic, and that's it. Alright, so those are 25 thumbnails I've used for my videos. You can go to my channel and check it out for yourself if you're curious. Remember, if you want access to the document that I just broke down, there is a link in the description where you can get access to my database of all whiteboards, PDFs, and slides. I update it every day. If you found this video valuable, please like and subscribe. If you'd like me to go deeper on Midjourney in the future, let me know. I probably won't go crazy into any sort of Midjourney guides or mini courses unless there's demand for it. So if you want to see more Midjourney content, please leave a comment. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.